Hello, my name is Kassandra Tenorio, and today I will discuss my speech three. With the current issue of COVID-19 and a lot going on this year, many people have been ensuring that they are being safe and social distancing while out in public, with many of them ensuring that they are washing their hands regularly, taking showers regularly, to make sure that not only they're safe, but those around them are safe from them. But detainees in ICE facilities have been raising concerns that they are not given that equal opportunity of taking care of themselves as much as the general public. They are fighting for basic hygiene products such as soap and toilet paper. And right now, the current issue is overcrowding. Overcrowding is such a big issue to them because with the lack of hygiene products, overcrowding results in such a large number of potentially catching a virus or disease within the facilities. And the title of this speech is The Solution to Overcrowding and Hygiene Issues for Detainees. I will be discussing the proposed solution to many of these problems that branch out because of overcrowding and hygiene products. And I hope my audience today will leave with knowing more information on how much could be done to help detainees in such a short amount of time, and what else is there to actually prevent detainees from actually being safe within each other within facilities. I will get into my first point. I want to present the issue of overcrowding in general. So this is an example of an overcrowding issue within an ICE facility. On the left, there are women, particularly 51 women being held in a cell designed for 40 people. On the right, there are 71 men being held in a cell designed for 41 people. This is a really big issue because being held within such a close facility and having, for say, someone in this image sneeze or cough, that will circulate within that room first before it is able to circulate throughout the whole building and spread out. But the thought of being over maximizing more capacity within a room is a very scary thought because that means that there's not enough proper bedding because it is way over capacity. There's not just one or two people over the limit. This is around 10, minimum 10 people within over the maximum capacity. And for the males case, that is a really big difference. At least 20 other people that should not be there. So to have imagined that this issue is an issue is very disappointing because they are taking advantage of the fact that detainees aren't able to fight for themselves right now. This is also another example of overcrowding. This shows an even worse image because they are having sort of wired fencing, and this type of fencing has holes. So there is no way to protect themselves with speaking or anything. And the fact that they're very overcrowded and being pushed within such a short area is very frightening because not only with the current virus or current sort of pandemic going on, not sort of pandemic, there is a pandemic going on, um, the probability of one of them being disabled or probability of them having some sort of medical issue that they have been dealing with for years is very high considering the amount of people in that one area. For instance, there could be someone who is not being able to stand for a long period of time, or there could be someone who does have a medical issue that would be very hard to attain to considering how many people they have to go through to reach that one person. This is another example of overcrowding. There are families being pushed into cells and they're not basically giving proper spacing. The only spacing they have is by sitting on the floor or bunched up against the wall. This is very dangerous because, as mentioned before, there are many reports saying that ICE facilities may not be as sanitary as they should be. And that is a big issue considering the fact that the floor has to be used by multiple people sitting down, or the floor is, especially with children being in the room, as mentioned that this photo does contain families. This is not a safe environment because they are being surrounded by strangers and being left there for over a long period of time. This goes into my second point, where having that combination of being within a room full of people you don't know and not having sanitary conditions and overcrowdedness, many people are bound to want to see a doctor because they want to ensure that they are being safe and they are healthy, and they may have appear symptoms of some sort, and they are more worried considering the amount of people they are being surrounded by daily. And this issue is written by an article written by Al Arseny titled "Whistleblower Accuses a Doctor at an ICE Detention Center of being of surgically removing wombs from women, or more importantly, immigration detainees." And this article shows how some women have been really seeing a doctor, especially a gynecologist doctor, because they are an expert in that area. They have requested to see one, so they set up an appointment and they go see him. And the gynecologist doctor claims that they have to take out an ovary, or they have to take out the whole uterus because it has been so damaged, or there's an infection or some sort. And after the procedure, many women have been claiming to say that they weren't even notified as to why the procedure was being taken place. They were just told that you need to see the procedure, you need the surgery, and then go. And that is should not be the case. That means that they were not being told what exactly is happening within their uterus, or what exactly within the ovary that is causing them to believe that the surgery must be needed. And knowingly the fact that they know what is happening to them is considered a lot of information, should not be the case at all. This would, if these claims are true, then this doctor would be malpracticing and using their degree to sort of being taking advantage of these women. And many other within the article also claimed that that they took out the wrong ovary, or they took out both when they should have just taken out one. And this just leads on to the case. This creates a vicious cycle where women are being put into over cells that are already over maximum capacity and being forced to be with other strangers. And in that case, that would lead them to have to go to the doctor because they believe that they already got a symptom, or they just want to ensure that they're being safe, and the doctor taking advantage of that and saying, no, you need surgery. Because there may be cases where some of them didn't even need surgery, that they're perfectly healthy, but because the doctor told them that it was needed, then they should get it. And that is very saddening because some of these women are could have been pregnant or could be hoping to get pregnant. And in also this case, not only the women are being affected because of these issues, but children a lot too. A lot. An article written by Christine Potter titled "Outbreaks at Migrant Detention Centers." Many children have been claimed to have died within. There is data showing at least 4 children have died within the time span of 8 months, or 6 months, and 6 to 8 months. And although this is a low number, the links to the cause of death were drawn back to the unsanitary and overcrowdedness of the facility. This is very concerning considering the fact that these items are preventable. They are preventable in the case where there could have been more cleanliness in the ICE facility, and they should have been separated properly to ensure proper distancing. And this case where the cause of death may not be because of these two links, but the cause of death could have been prevented by these two links had both of them been properly enforced, then it could have saved a lot of it could have saved children from passing away or from having to deal with any other pre-existing medical reasons, because it would have helped them fight it. And this leads to my proposed solution to help these families within ICE detention centers. Temporary tents could be the solution. As seen in the visual aid, these tents are designed to help to contain people in sort of sense, and they could be used to help separate families and within the ICE detention center. They are currently being used, but they are not being used to the advantage that they should be used. This is a very useful technique. Though it may sound kind of childish, it is very useful because not only does it help the overcrowding, it also ensures that families are not being separated, because it could make that families be in one side of the tent or split it into like 1/3 and have 3 families, depending on how many family members are in each family, be inside the tent. This also helps with doctors because they could go see each patient with the safety of themselves and safety of the detainees. Um, the current system of seeing a doctor has many detainees having to request to see a doctor and stand in a line, and this is not the most efficient and proper way to do it because many detainees had reported in my previous speech that they are sacrificing their meal time to stand and in hopes of seeing that doctor that day. So in this case, it would help the doctor be more organized and they could see everyone and even have access to medical family histories because the parents would be there or some other family member would be there with them to discuss that issue. And this goes on to my next case, where children under the ICE custody are very prone to be victims. Mobile tents would help the children more. So I want to discuss how children are being currently treated under ICE care and how that would change had they been in a mobile tent. In an article written by Aguilera, Family Separation 2.0, parents having to decide whether to keep their children or send them off to sponsors. Within this article, many parents have raised the concerns of their child's safety within the facility and whether their child is being taken care of properly or not. Many family and parents do not have the option to see their child within a day, so they are worried that their child may be mistreated, or in some cases, many articles have come up where many children go missing. And that is very confusing concept considering how they're being held within the facility, but it is an issue that's being discussed. And that is even many parents having to decide to send them off to sponsors because they are worried. There are many guards within the facility who come in and out, and about many detainees do not know where these guards go after they leave their shift and go home or go out to party or go out to the grocery stores. They don't know who and where these guards have been. And that raises a lot of concerns because they come in each day and out each day, and they're around children, they're around other detainees, and it is such a scary thought for these parents. So many of them do choose the option of sending their children off to a sponsor just because they feel that it's better than being held within the facility. In another article written by the same author, Aguilera, the article titled 120 Children Within an ICE Detention Center Being Held Over Time, even though there's a court order for them to be released early due to the concerns of COVID-19. This also helps parents make the decision because parents would know if children are being held over time because they are being held at the same time. With children being held over time, it is even more concerning because that means that there is a back hold on releasing children, or there is a back hold on releasing anyone in general. So that means there could be the potential of overcrowding within the children, which could lead to such dangerous thoughts because if a child has anything, a sneeze or anything, they are less likely to take care of themselves versus an adult. So the spread of the disease could be much more rapid compared to adults. And there are many children who are teething or maybe toddlers who may have been separated by the family, and considering an unsanitary environment, that is not the best option to have, that not the best phase to have of a teething phase because they want to put everything in their mouths. And with those causes, as I said before, this forces many parents to make the decision to send their children away to a sponsor. That should not be the case of a parent having to decide whether to keep their children in an unsafe, unsanitary environment, as seen in this photo, where they are once again being placed on mats and blankets that are typically used for marathon runners to keep in the warm after they finish their marathon to ensure that they don't go and shop when they have a marathon within a very cold environment. So the purpose of that is just to keep heat inside. It is not comfortable at all because it's not being designed to use as a blanket, and they are being in open wired fencing. So there is no protection within anyone outside the guards or anything. So that is very concerning. And with this speech, I wanted to show that the potential of mobile tents could help prevent this because that would mean they have there's no fencing, there's actually a sort of wall for them to protect themselves from outside people. and there is more sense of privacy. Families do not have to be separated, and it would allow for them to receive proper medical treatments because now they have more spacing to do medical appointments and everything. And with this, I wanted to say that this also just touches the the surface of many issues that arise from ICE facilities, but I feel like this issue and this solution could help help other minor issues in comparison to this and solve many more other issues that have been conducted because of this. And I really hope you enjoyed my speech and thank you. And this is the working outline I used today and thank you.